revision video. We are looking at design and verification with PLDs. This is lecture 4. The contents which we will be looking at are examples of logic blocks in commercial FPGAs, dedicated memory and dedicated multipliers. So the objective of this is to make you understand dedicated blocks in FPGA. First, see the definition of logic block. The logic block is a relatively small circuit block that is replicated in an array in an FPD, that is field programmable device. When a circuit is implemented in a field programmable device, it is first decomposed into smaller subcircuits that can each be mapped into a logic block. So this is the general structure of an FPGA, where you have the logic block, IO blocks, and these lines, long lines, which shows you interconnection. So the term logic block is mostly used in the context of FPGA, but it could also refer to a block of circuitry or in a CPLD, that is complex programmable logic device. So the examples of commercial logic blocks, first we consider the Xilinx device XC4000. So this XC4000 configurable logic blocks contains 3 separate lookup tables. You can see here this is 1, 2 and 3. 3 separate lookup tables, and there are 2 4-input LUTs. So you can see here 4 input, these are the 4, this is 4 input LUT and this is a 4 input LUT, 2 4 input LUTs that are fed to the CLB inputs. So these are the CLB inputs that are fed, and in combination with the others also. And this arrangement allows the CLB to implement wide range of logic functions of up to 9 inputs. Other than these 8, we can even have some other input. So up to 9 inputs, 2 separate functions of 4 inputs or other possibilities answer can be implemented. So you can see this is the example of a Xilinx XC4000 device configurable logic blocks. It is also called as a logic block. Each CLB has, you can see here, 2 flip-flops also. And this is one more example of a logic block of Altera Flex 8000 logic element. So the basic logic block called logic element contains 4 input lookup table, as you have seen before. So it implements 4 variable function, 4 input lookup table. It also has a flip-flop, single flip-flop you can see. It has a special purpose carry circuitry, you can see here, as well as the cascade circuitry. The logic element also includes cascade circuitry, which I showed you, for implementing ANDing functions. So all these details you can see here. It also has a set clear and a clock input and a muxed output for either giving the logic element output or a cascaded output. So based on these two, we are taking up the help of the multiplexer. Now one more example of logic block is Actel Act3 logic module. So this logic block in Actel devices are very small compared to LUT based ones which are described in the previous slides. These are based on multiplexers. So this figure illustrates that the logic block in the Act3 shows that it comprises of AND and OR gate that are connected to a multiplexer. So the multiplexer circuit is arranged such that in combination with the 2 logic gates, a very wide range of functions can be realized in a single logic block. So you can see in the multiplexer, when we have AND and OR input, that means the selection is now based on either these 2 inputs or these 2 inputs, or 4 inputs in fact. Apart from the actual data lines, we can also have some other functions which can be implemented here in the ANDing and ORing and can be made to pass. Suppose if I have A plus B, A or B. So A or B along with these data lines will be connected to the output. So such wide range of functions can be realized in single logic block. about half of the logic blocks in an ACT3 also contain a flip-flop. Now moving on to dedicated memories in FPGA. Many applications need memory, that we all know. It could be for storing a table of constants to be used as coefficients during processing, or it could be for implementing instructions and data memories for an embedded processor that you are designing using the FPGA. Early FPGAs did not contain any dedicated memory. Designers typically interface the FPGA to external memory chips when memory was designed. As chip densities have increased, FPGA designers started to incorporate dedicated memory on FPGA chips, eliminating the need to interface them with external memory chips. So these are some of the dedicated memory in FPGAs. Modern FPGAs include 16K to 10 megabits of dedicated memory. This table shows the amount of dedicated RAMs in some FPGAs. As an example, you can see the Xilinx Vertex 5, this one, first row, contains 1 to 10 megabits of dedicated memory. The organization is 64 to 576, 18 kilobits blocks, but dedicated RAM size you can see here, it is 1 to 10 megabits of dedicated memory, because the size is in KB. KB into K again will become the megabits. Similarly, the Altera Stratix 2 contains 409 kilo to 9 megabits of memory. The Actel Fusion, you can see here last one, it contains 27 to 20k bits of memory. So likewise, some dedicated memory also is available in FPGAs. The dedicated memory is typically implemented using a few 4 to 1000 large blocks of dedicated SRAMs located in the FPGA. You can see these are the SRAM cells. Like in the lookup table based method, I shown you that when it looks into the content of elements which are stored, that means each element is 1-bit storage element. So as I already discussed in the lookup table based implementation, so these SRAM cells can be made to work it as the memory as well. So these SRAMs located on the FPGA can be used as dedicated SRAM. So this figure indicates the typical organization for the dedicated RAM blocks. In many FPGAs, they are situated outside like what you have seen here. In some FPGAs like Altera Stratix, there are columns of memory in a few different locations in the FPGA. In many FPGAs, the SRAM blocks are of one size. Like an example, it can be 18 KB in Xilinx Vertex. In some FPGAs, there are blocks of different sizes. For example, the Altera Stratix has 512 bits or 4 kilobits and 512 kilobit blocks. The dedicated memory on the Xilinx FPGAs is called block RAM. The dedicated memory on the Altera FPGAs is called trimatrix memory, and some FPGAs provide parity bits in the SRAM. The parity bits are included when calculating the dedicated RAM size. In the literature from sub-vendors, other vendors exclude parity bits and count only the usable dedicated RAM. A key feature of the dedicated RAM on modern FPGAs is the ability to adjust the width of the RAM. As shown in the previous table, there are several tiles or blocks of memory. They can be placed in various ways to achieve different aspect ratios. Let us assume that there are 32 kilobits of SRAM provided as blocks of RAM. So this RAM can be used as 32 kilo by 1 or 62 kilo by 2 or 8K by 4 or 4K by 8. Any of these ways we can use this RAM. So thus the width of the RAM can be adjusted depending on the need of the application. One application may need byte-wide memories, another may need 64 byte-wide memories. So likewise, based on the application, we can adjust. LUT based FPGAs offer another alternative for memory if only small amounts of memory are required. it is possible to create that memory using the bit in the LUTs, that is without using the dedicated memory. As you know, a 4 variable LUT contains 16 bits of storage. We can create small amounts of memory by combining the storage cells from the LUTs. So this is the 4 input LUT diagram you can see. So this can have 16 by 1 RAM, this also has 16 by 1 RAM. So if I combine these two, I can make it 32 by 2 or 32 by 1. 16 by 2 or 32 by 1 I can make it up. So when used as 32 by 1 memory, there must be 5 address lines and 1 data line. So D1 and D2 must be connected. The top LUT must be enabled when the MSB of the address is 0, and the bottom will be enabled when the MSB address is 1. So this can be done using the highest bit of the address and an inverter. So when used as a 16 by 2 memory, both LUTs are enabled and the data lines D1 and D2 are brought out in parallel. Memory created from LUT cells is called distributed memory. In Xilinx terminology, it is called as distributed memory, not dedicated memory. So as the term indicates, this memory is distributed throughout the chip inside the logic blocks. A disadvantage of distributed memory is that once the LUT memory is used in this fashion, the logic block is generally unusable. The LUT memory can be used as asynchronous memory. It can also be combined with the logic block flip-flops to create synchronous memory. So here the previous diagram also I have shown you. The LUT based RAM blocks for Xilinx Virtex 5, we have 320 to 420 kilobits, and for Lattice you can see 12 to 136. So likewise we can use distributed RAMs also based on the LUTs. The number of LUTs which are available inside these logic families, you can see they are huge in number. So if they are huge in number, that means the distributed RAM what we can make is also huge in number. Modern FPGAs provide dedicated multipliers. Suppose that a designer wants a 16 by 16 multiplier. If dedicated multipliers are not provided, several programmable logic blocks will be used to create a 16 by 16 multiplier. Such a multiplier will be expensive in terms of the number of blocks and interconnect resources used. It will also be slow due to the switches involved in interconnecting the parts of the multiplier. Dedicated multipliers will be more area efficient and will be faster than multipliers realized using logic blocks. Since multiplication is an important operation in many applications involving FPGAs, many commercial FPGAs provide dedicated multipliers. For instance, Xilinx Virtex 4, Spartan 3 and Altera Stratix Cyclone FPGAs contain 18 by 18 multipliers. So you can see here this is 18 by 18 multiplier. Multiplicand is of 18 bits, multiplier is of 18 bits, and the product will be of 36 bits. These multipliers take two 18-bit operands and produce a 36-bit product. It is possible to load the multiplicand and multiplier into optional registers and load the product into an optional product register. The inputs to the multiplier can come from external pins or they can come from the other logic in the FPGA. When multiplication of numbers larger than 18 bits is required, several of the dedicated built-in multipliers can be put together. Suppose if A and B are 32 bits and C, D, E and F are the 16-bit components of A and B, such that A equals C into 2 raised to 16 plus D and B equals E into 2 raised to 16 plus F, then AB will be, A into B will be C into 2 raised to 32 plus DE plus CF into 2 raised to 16 plus DF. This means that 4 multipliers to generate the partial products like CE, DE, CF and DF and several adders to add the partial products are required. Getting with me? So for for making such multiplications we need multipliers. So these dedicated multipliers are also useful. So I hope you might have understood what is dedicated RAM, distributed RAM and dedicated multiplier for doing the multiplication operations. These are available in the FPGA. Thank you for watching.